yeah. This is the Halloween movie without Michael Myers. I shouldn't be wearing the mask. Yes, you heard me correctly. This is the Halloween movie that does not have Michael Myers in it. This review might get me in trouble. I've never really liked this movie when I was younger. Halloween Season of the Witch has never been a movie I've been a fan of. This movie has its fans. A lot of people like it just for being its own thing. I'm not saying I don't like it because Michael Myers isn't in it. That's like the whole reason people don't like this movie. The reason I just don't like this movie is because to me it's just kind of boring in a way, but that's when I was younger. I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. My positives for this movie, I like the Halloween masks in this. The jack-o'-lantern, the witch, and the skeleton. I think they're very creative, and they're also just really simple, and I just like the look of them. And like I said, they're just simple, and I just like them. And I want to get those masks, but Trick or Treat Studios wants like $70 for each one, and I'm not going to pay $70 for like 3 masks. Seems like a ripoff to me. And there's this death in this movie. I'm going to talk about 2 deaths that I really like. There's this homeless man's death where Dick Warlock, who plays Michael Myers in Halloween 2, there's this part where like he's yelling about like this one guy. He's like, "Oh yeah, you're full of shit," and all that. And then these robots come, and Dick Warlock, he just comes and grabs this homeless man's head, twists it, and then rips it off with his bare hands. Gnarly as hell, and I love it. And the second death, Marge's death. She was Tom Atkins's I believe wife, or maybe still his wife, but I don't know. There's this part where she's looking at the Silver Shamrock logo that's on the mask. She's picking at it. She hits the wrong thing. There's a beam that comes up and hits her in the mouth. The next scene, she's like, you could see that her mouth was just like beamed open and all that. Awesome. That is gnarly, and I think that is the best kill of this movie. And Tom Atkins, I don't like his character in this movie, but I'll talk more about the characters. But I do like seeing Tom Atkins in this movie. He's a horror movie regular, and I just also like him, and he's a very good actor in my opinion. And I love to see what the mask does. It shows in this movie where at the big giveaway, if you put on these masks, there's a Silver Shamrock thing on the back. If you see this pumpkin, it flashes over and over and over, and then like you'll get dizzy, the mask will melt on your face, a bunch of bugs will come out, a snake will come out. Gnarly, and that is really cool, and that's also another death that I like in this movie. And the ending, I think the ending of this movie is probably the most popular thing about this movie, where Tom Atkins is trying to get all of the Silver Shamrock things taken off the air. Then there's one on the 3rd channel, and he's like, you gotta take it off. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. And then the movie just ends with him screaming, stop it. The movie just ends like that. And I think that's what this movie is most popular for. When you think of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, people will probably think about that ending. But now on to my mixed aspects. The Halloween jingle. Now, there's one part of it where it's catchy, and on the other part, it just gets really, really annoying. And to me, it's just on my mixed aspects, where it's catchy, but it gets annoying throughout the movie. Now on to my negatives. This movie should have just been its own movie. I bet this movie would have been more well received by horror fans and by critics if it was just its own movie. If you took off the title Halloween 3 and just called it Season of the Witch, this probably would have been well received, and this probably would have been a lot of people's favorites. But apparently John Carpenter and Deborah Hill wanted to do like a Twilight Zone thing set on Halloween every year, but since, well, Michael Myers was so popular in the first 2 movies, they had to scrap that idea. And so, this, to me, it just should have just worked on its own film. It could have just been its own movie, but they didn't do that. And the characters, like I said, I just don't like the characters. Tom Atkins, I love seeing him in this movie, but I don't like his character. None of the characters are very interesting to me. If Tom Atkins died in this movie, I didn't care. And there's this one girl that's like 20 years younger than him, and he fucks her. I didn't care for that character either, and I actually forgot her name. None of the characters for me just worked for me, and they were just boring to watch, and I'm just sitting there like, can these characters just die already? I did not like these characters very much. And there's this character named Teddy where she's looking at these ashes about the robot and all that. She's a pretty pointless character, and I actually kind of forgot about her. She did not need to be in this movie, and her death was also really forgettable, and then they don't acknowledge that, like, at all in the movie. She just felt like a pointless character. Like, her side of the story, that could have been cut out, and her death was just very forgettable. Nobody even expresses it, not even Tom Atkins' character even, like, finds out about the body or anything. All of her scenes could have been cut out of this movie and would make no difference. And the villain's death. There's the villain of this movie. I think he's pretty cool in this movie, but the way he just dies is where the stone thing behind him that was built in in the 1700s, and he uses that to make Silver Shamrock mask to kill all the kids around the world and all that. And his death is just pretty stupid, where the beam comes out of this Stonehenge thing, makes him glowy, and then he just disappears. Stupid death. That's all I gotta say. But after all that, I can enjoy this movie for what it is. It's a fine movie, but it's probably never gonna be a Halloween movie that I rewatch. I don't hate this movie. I don't think it's one of the worst of the franchise, but I think it would be in the middle of my list of rankings. I'll talk about it more when I do my ranking, but it's never going to be a movie I probably ever rewatch. So, I would honestly just say, go ahead and stream it. So what did you guys think of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch? Do you think this is easily the best of the franchise? Do you hate this movie because Michael Myers isn't in it? Or are you one of those assholes pretty much? What did you think about this movie? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, like it. If you loved it, subscribe and hit the bell notification so you will get notified for my latest videos. But until my next review, take care.